Hello, I'm Mark, and welcome to the next segment in Garden Like Stupid. And I'm not insulting anybody or myself. Stupid refers to keep it stupid simple. And it's an old business proposition that I like to use because some of the stuff that I'm going to show you is very, very simple to make and help you with your gardening. I'll give you a few tips along the way, what works for me, what might not work for you. And I'm coming to you from Muskogee area, central Oklahoma, and I'm not a farmer by trade, so I'm a home gardener. And about 8 years ago, so you see this stump I'm sitting on, that used to be an ornamental pear tree, one of several that were back here. Had a horrible ice storm, and they all went down, and that was a shame. But I thought, well, I've got all that area that I'm going to have to clean out. So, over the course of several years, I've had to take stumps out, and I think we just finished burning the firewood last year from them. And one of the things that I found a big challenge here in the Southern Plains is water. Getting water to where you need it. The quality of water you need to grow stuff that you can trust, and some common practices that we should all be looking out for, because one of the biggest things that we can do when we own property, that we can have stewardship with that property, at least the ground part of it on top. I collect a lot of rainwater. I collect most of my rainwater during the winter because it has very low dust, and generally it's just a lot cleaner. There's not mosquito larvae. It has been warm enough in a couple winters ago that we still had mosquitoes through the winter time, but this is still winter, whether we want to face it or not. It's 75 degrees here today. But tomorrow it might be at 40 degrees, or maybe snowing or something. Snowstorm Titan just finished with us last week, and there's still some snow and some ice melting in town. But anyway, one of the things that I have come up with that makes sense and works is we get humid. It gets very humid here in the summertime as well. The rain showers and all. And we have a clay mixture soil, not very, unless you're on the Arkansas River and has some river bottom land that's really good. Our soil is not the most fertile. So, that said, when you go down into the soil and you find this clay, well, what happens is the clay isn't very good at holding water for very long, and even areas as near to the surface as 6 inches can lose their water really rapidly, and that's just because of the clay. And so we're going to do a couple things. I've already told you about the rainwater in the barrels, and then in another segment I'll show you how to make a barrel. It's really easy. If I can do it, anybody can. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a chemist. It's a good thing I had Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs as a kid, because those concepts apply here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And anyway, I was having problems a couple of years ago during the, we're probably still in drought, but not as bad as like California has this year. I call this so I came up with this. This is called a water stick. Simple. I put some duct tape on the end, so when I put it in the hole, and of course I'm going to put these rotations, like say if I'm treating here, this has a couple, 3 different uses, not just one, feeding. And I've got some holes drilled here up at the top, and I'll show you what those are for in another segment when we get into trellising. But check it out. I mean, we've got about a good 2 feet. I've got some holes that I've drilled. It doesn't take a heck of a lot of work. I think it takes something very cost effective too. I think this 5-foot blanket was about $5. And especially if you're trying to grow some high value trees, this is a good way to get water into the roots and feed it until so you can have root system underneath. Because if you don't have that root system underneath, the plant's not going to survive. You can also use seeds for area planting, and I'll show you some of my some plants take more water than others, and trust me, when it's 110 degrees in the summertime here, the last thing you want to be out doing is trying to figure out how to get extra water to your plants, because if you start overwatering, number one, you're going to create a situation for molds and mildews and rust, and those are some of the things that we're gonna go through. But we're gonna go through all 4 seasons. The winter time, this is one of my busiest times, really. Planting is the easy part. The preparation through the winter, I've already got my onions in, and I'm a little weak. I'm about a week or 2 behind right now, because I should have had my beets in already, and carrots. I have stuff that's growing here that is perennial. I have some elephant garlic, and I have some asparagus, and I'll get into with this little plot, some beets, and maybe that's it. The reason being for that is this is not the most fertile soil, and beets can grow. If you've got bad soil, as long as it's tilled up and it's cultivated, they'll grow. And all they need is soft. They're real hardy. You can even have them in the winter garden, and at least here. I don't know about up north. I was born and raised in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's why I talk funny. You know what? Water's an important thing. I mean, it's getting more important. Somebody said, yeah, it's getting to the point where you can't even buy a bottle of water for $1. And we were talking gasoline back in those days. So it's really important. Skirmishes over it. There's debates. California is trying to get other people's water, and Texas wants the Red River area, and that's important. There's some that want to drain or grab water from Lake Superior or the other Great Lakes, but it's not just the quantity of water, it's the quality of what we got. And I'll tell you, we've got rainwater during the winter. It rains the most during the winter time here. It does. And I don't know what kind of year we're going to have, but you're going to see us. You're going to see me go through it. Anyway, technology at its finest. Americans have constantly dig the hole deep enough to where you need it, or as much water as you need. These are real simple. And that'll be a water stick. If I was planting a tree here, it would be perfect. because not only is this very efficient at getting water out to a 360 area, it's very durable too, so the roots won't damage it. Now I've got this this fancy, actually it's not a fancy model, it used to be a trophy, a karate trophy. All my kids are in karate, and this one bit the dust, unfortunately. This was so, and I don't like throwing anything away if I think I can get some use out of it, and so I made a water stick out of it. Got the holes. I put duct tape on the bottom, so when I put it in the hole, it won't get filled up from the bottom with sand. And so when we do direct feed, you can put a hose in here. If it's that dry, if you're not able to water or feed at least once a week, I really don't recommend putting a hose in here, because then you're going to overwater, and you don't want to do that either. You fill this one up, you're done. Then you know you've got I'm not sure the entire volume. I'd have to do math, and I'm not a very good mathematician when it comes to stuff like that. But there'll be at least a half a gallon of water in here, and it's going to go below the surface of the ground. And everybody wins with that. It's going to grow some great plants, and you'll see. But you know, not all results are going to be the same. I know further north from here, where I'm from, the snow won't even be gone probably for the next 2 to 3 months. So, but you know what? Winter gardening, you can be doing other things. Right now, I've already done seed starts for tomatoes. I'm going to show you what works with each other, what's kind of symbiotic, you know, they share kind of a partnership. Plants can accentuate each other, and you'll hopefully be able to use some of this knowledge and put it to good use. And I look forward to taking you through the spring, summer. It'll be quite a sight when this garden is going. And right now, though, another important thing for water conservation, you can't maintain water in your garden unless it's cultivated. I suggest to everybody, if you've got a garden spot, buy a good cultivator. I'm not going to recommend any specific brand, but it's really handy. I've got a really bad back, and I just, you know, I'm getting lucky in my own range. So hello to all my garden buddies, and I'll be back next week with some more information for you and some other tips.